Hey guys, welcome to day number 25. Let me get my little note just to make sure. Day number 25. Yep, day number 25 of the Talk to the Camera challenge, and today's topic is, pardon me, share something you've learnt recently. I think a lot of what I've learnt recently, because look, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. So when you spend a lot of time on YouTube, you will come across or be recommended a lot of interesting videos, to say the least. Whether they're true or not, or both, it is really, really fascinating, and you sort of get open up to sort of a new world, and you learn some stuff by it as well. And the funny thing is with this topic is I'm actually going to approach this as if something that I've already learnt, or what I thought I learnt, or no, or what I originally knew beforehand, but I recently found out that actually that's not true. That's actually what they call BS. So I learnt that these things that I always thought was true, I learnt recently that they are bullshit. So I get to the first one that I actually did believe, and I actually was doing it for about a few years, ever since I, hit the puberty and started to grow facial hair, which is that when you shave, your hair starts to come, back out more thicker. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. So I wish, I shaved more often than I used to, just so I can get just so I can get a little bit thicker, because at the time, because it was like at a young age, like 18 or 19, or you know hell, even 20, it was still sort of like, I don't know, it's not, it's just not quite there yet. So I just thought, just to do that, just to get it thicker, because that's why I thought from what I've learned, that's the way to do it. But apparently not. I learned that that's not true. That it will naturally get thicker, your hair, easily, just by just natural light, natural environments. Your own chemicals will you'll develop over time, and eventually it will naturally get thicker, whether or not you shave or not your facial hair. But so yeah, don't need to do that. That's what I learned. I thought, never knew that. You could have saved me, well, a lot of shaving cream. So, and what else have I learned recently? This goes back to childhood. I had this thing where I could just, I don't know if you picked that up, but if it didn't, I just cracked my fingers. I used to do that a lot when I was a kid, just sort of hear the cracking of it. And I used to do it around my parents, but it was my dad who made sort of a comment towards it. And yeah, it's not a pleasant sound. I know that it's not at all. It's kind of weird, but my dad was like the most like bothered by it, because it's kind of gross. And so he told a lie to me, in order for me, a lie to scare me enough to stop doing it, which is every time you crack your fingers or your bones or or your joints, he said that you release low acid into the core of your bones or whatever, and you're actually damaging your body, your this and all that, and eventually it will cause severe problems. So I stopped doing it for a while, and turned out I learned that's not the case. And the case, yeah, it's BS, and I know why he did that, and I don't blame him, to be honest with you. I don't hold anything against him. I probably would have done the same if I was him. But yeah, that's what I learned recently. Those two things I thought was truths turned out to be just lies. Or there's, more to it than that. And yeah, what else is there? Oh, yeah, there's that sort of, there's that thing that, because I'm familiar with the story of the Titanic when it was sinking. There was one of the passengers that was on the ship. As the ship was going down, he decided to get a bit, get drunk. So he was drinking heavily heavily. I think it was like whiskey or some form of alcohol, and yeah, apparently that saved his life because alcohol kept him warm, or this the belief was like alcohol keeps you warm and all that. And yeah, I recently found out that's not actually the case. It's actually doing it does the opposite. You still can get hypothermia. The alcohol is a sort of if I remember this correctly. So if I remember this correctly, this could be wrong, but it's partially the truth of information. But when you're drunk, your body moves the heat. I think it moves the heat near the skin, and it's almost like an illusion. Like you think you're heating up or that you're getting warm, but in fact you're still high. You're still gonna die from it. And this is a bit of a random one, but I found out that I learned that the reason why it's not a good idea to light a fire in a cave, like literally just a campfire or just any sort of fire like in a cave, is the sort of heat will just sort of go to the sort of the from like above you. Yeah, that will apparently make it a lot weaker, and the chances of it collapsing on you is very high. So if you want to put a campfire in a cave, don't do it, or that will happen. Certainly will happen. Just random stuff like that. That I'm like, I never knew that. You know. What else? The most interesting thing that I've learned that I always find interesting is about dreams. Weirdly enough, one fact about dreams that I discovered. This is just I'm just throwing random stuff at you. You know, this is what I've learned. This is the stuff that I can think of that is interesting enough for this. And yeah, so the fact one of the facts about dreams is that the let's say that you're walking, I don't know, in a street, or yeah, you're in a street, you're in a public area, and there's a good chance that the people that you sort of see, passerby, people pass by, or people who are just there, there's a good chance that you might see them again, but in your dreams. Because there's always like strange, like if you remember them, your dreams, but you always see people, some strangers, you see some faces in your dreams that you don't recognize that well. And you often think that how do you sort of make that up, in how does your mind, sort of create that? And apparently it's just like one sort of, glance at somebody who, you know, in our consciousness they're interesting to us. So you remember that person in some weird way, and they'll be in your dream. You might or might not interact with them, but there's a chance that they will be there, which is really, really, really interesting, man. And yeah, I've learned that, I don't know, since we're on the topic of dreams, I don't know what this video is, but I'm just, in terms of the answer to this, I know it's all scattered, but that's unscripted for you. So yeah, in dreams, I don't know, like they don't. I think they don't really make sort of sense. And yes, stay with me here. But on the topic of dreams, is that they don't really make sense when we don't really remember that much about it, because as soon as you wake up, you forget what you've just imagined, and that you just created. But I don't know. I think they got the. I think it's all of them got like meaning, and it says a lot about you, or what you're feeling, or what you're sort of going through, but in a very out there sort of, you know, sort of out there fashion. You might not think there's any meaning to it because it's sort of random and strange and wacky, but it's the fact that we don't sort of I learned that I learned that there are meaning when you can remember it. For example, I had a dream that I was in a dark sort of room, and there was a door in front of me, and there's a keyhole. I can see outside. It was very sunny. It was very light, very bright. It was coming through the people, and I can see through the people. There was people. They were sitting down. I think it was in a sort of grassy field. I can't see anything else in the environment, because it was just unnaturally like bright. But I can make out that they were sitting down, having a good time. I've never seen them before. Like, their faces don't look recognizable to me, but I feel that I know them. So, and they're having a good time. They're laughing, and I just feel like I want to step out of this sort of dark, wherever I am, this void, wherever I am, to go out into, to go out and sort of approach them, just to sit down and just, So you know, I I opened the door, I let the bright light in, and as soon as I opened, they seemed a bit more far away than I saw them through the people. This stuff happens, it's not very consistent, it's very all over the place. And yeah, as I was walking to them, there was this, I don't know, this zombie like sort of creature just jumped out of like nowhere. Just jumped out. I was scared of it. It chased me, and I ran back through this door that I just came out of, which was suddenly like much far away now from me originally stepping out. I go in, I close the door just in the nick of time. I look through the keyhole, and this zombie monster thing wasn't there, and those people that I wanted to go and see and speak to, they were not there anymore. They were gone. It was just a very bright, but I can make out just a grassy field, but no people there anymore. And then I woke up, and on surface you can, seems random, seems, you not, it's almost like you can't make sense of it, but I remember all of that, and I rarely do, we rarely do remember, but when we do, it's very, we can go on, to see what it meant, and with me learning, recently that, dreams have meaning. It's from the depths of, ourselves. So I guess after learning that concept, or something that I learned recently, is the meaning of that dream is I am in this room away from people that I want to approach and join, but I'm too scared or not confident enough. So I try to stay hidden in the sort of black nothing. I can only see a peep into a potential, like, I don't know, happiness or a new friendship. I gather the confidence to step out and approach them. But then fear, doubt, and all that in the form of this monster will just come out, and it will literally push me back into that sort of space, that sort of isolation. I could fight it, but I didn't. I just let it, keep me prisoner. So I look for the people, it's gone. And those people were gone because that opportunity has gone. It's left. The people have gone. That moment of sort of joy is kind of, at that moment, is gone. And yeah, and I think I know, and now, after really thinking about it, after that, it makes a bit more sense in some way. It depends on you, whether that is, but yeah. So those are all the things that I've learned recently, and yeah, I know these are not always a very coherent sort of pack of videos, but hey, this is unscripted for you. This is unedited. This is just exactly what it is. But yeah, it's good to share, even if it's out there. It don't matter, really. Just get it out there, man. So that's what I've learned recently. All those things. And well, I hope you've learned it as well in some way. And yeah, that concludes day number 25. Yep, 25. Have to make sure. So yeah, day 25 done. And I'm done. I'm sure you're done. So check. See you later, guys.